Well, hey, this is the outtake portion of Rimshots with Sean, Jolene Harnish, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. I can say the Wooden Monkey as much as I want because they're one of my supporters. I can say Lil McPherson as much as I want because she's one of my supporters. We're going to talk with Jolene here. We were talking about a few things. So we covered the album. We covered all the stuff on Decent Portion. I asked you, are you going to try to access grant money? Because I'll give you a quick story. You're going to get to talk, I promise. A friend of mine applied for something and was told that he was too old.
Right, okay.
Which incensed me.
Yeah.
So we talked about ageism and stuff on the TV portion, but you tell me what you told, or you tell folks what you told me about potential grants and whatnot.
It's a lot of work to apply for these grants, and not only that, it's just there's a lot of different criterias to have. You can't have music release from a specific date and time. If it's on an upcoming EP, it can't be. You gotta send. There's just a lot of work to it. It's not an easy process.
It's not an easy process, and I know from people that have sat around that table before, some of the people that are making the decisions ain't music people. And that to me is a sore spot because that whole, I don't want to sound anti anything, but if you, I guess, do that, then you have the ability or the opportunity for them to take it away, which drives me nuts. And when it's being given to you by somebody that really doesn't understand what the heck they're dishing the money out for.
Yeah. I think the other thing with me too is I have like a timeline. And I want to just keep rolling along. I don't want to have to stop and wait for the off chance that I might get this grant money.
Yeah.
So I'm just invest in it myself. And, some of the music does make some of the money back that I reinvest into what I do. So at this point in time.
Fair enough.
In the future maybe, but right now.
And I will give the disclaimer that the opinions you're going to hear are that of Sean McKenna, not necessarily Jolene Harnish. So we'll throw that out there. I've been so close to it for a number of years, and I have some friends that have been tremendously successful obtaining grants. And then I've had other people that they've just tried and tried and tried. Yeah. And you sit there and you go, "What's the formula?" But you know what? We could sit here all
one
night.
of the funny thing is that you can actually hire a grant writer.
Yep.
But you're doing this because you want to get money to help you with your project, but you have to invest in a grant writer to hopefully get the money. So it's
It's true. It's kind of like the carbon tax. I figured it is really like the recycling fee. You got to drink $1,000 of beer to get $5 back. Yeah. So I mean, anyway, we could go on. I'll look that all night long. One of the things I guess so around here. You're having some success playing. You mentioned in the other segment you're going to maybe push the festival stuff out a little bit. How often do you guys get together to rehearse and write songs locally? 3, but it's still there's harmonies and all kinds of different things, right?
Mm-hmm. We probably get together, I'd say, once or twice a month.
Ooh, show off.
For the band, if we can, just to go over some new tunes and kind of work on the fly a little bit. I know I like to work on the fly. I think
I'm going to tell you, you're rarity.
Sean likes to work on the fly.
Yeah. Oh, I know what Sean does. He comes from a world too that I've been immersed in, where you get a call and they say, "Can you come and do this gig?"
Yeah.
And there's kind of we call it the Halifax songbook. I'm sure there's a country songbook where everybody knows the standards, and but that's getting less. And people want to hear these new dial drunk, and they want to hear all these ones that actually have production and pieces to them, right? So you just can't phone it in.
Yeah. Yeah, we try to stay pretty current too with what we do. And at White Point, we just chucked in a few that we've never done before, just to try them on for size, and it all works out.
My buddy Dion Macbeth calls it heads up hockey, right? Yeah. Which is you're either going to get marvelous success and have all kinds of goals, or get drilled and be carried out on a stretcher, but it's fun.
Yeah. I think you're asking me about writing.
I was, but I want to choose my words very carefully here. So, in terms of the writing, and in terms of what's going on around here, and in terms of what you're trying to, because you basically said you brought yourself back into it after years of basically giving up on yourself.
Yes.
And I can relate. In our current environment around here, how do you find it is to negotiate, to be successful, to do the work, and do you see the results around here versus are you seeing it other places maybe a little more fluently than your own backyard?
I do a lot of my work as far as like the writing and the creative part of what I do for my EP is not done here. I have my team, my people that I work with that are in Ontario.
Yep.
I actually have written locally here. Kevin Dakin, a good friend of mine, we write quite a bit together. But as far as your other part of your question, not really much going on.
Yeah. And that answer doesn't surprise me. Simply because, so I left here in '93 to move to Toronto and played rock, and I found a thing the other day. It was the Sam the Record Man Top 10 that I was part of. Our EP was number 10, but it was the Barry McNeil's, the Rankins. Sloan was in there, but it was, and I looked at it and I said, this place hasn't changed in 35 freaking years. It's still the same things that are making it, and that's not a slight. It's just if you have to set the expectation up of what it is and what you need to do if you want to do something.
Yeah, but I think the music industry has changed so much.
It has,
like in
question.
How we find music, listen to music, purchase music.
Yep.
A lot of it's online now. It's just it's really different.
It is, and you gotta. So working with the label, I know that there's 70,000 songs loaded every day.
Yep.
Preference given to the majors. Exactly. So if you're an indie artist, which you are, which I am, which Miss Ryder is. It's the way to go because you can have that organic growth, but it's not an easy slog, right? People need to know that.
Yeah, it's not.
Right, and you're not going to sit there and poke at it with a stick. You got to do the work all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just got to keep pushing and keep writing and working on your craft and hoping that you get that one song that really cuts through. Like I would love to have a Billboard song.
Yeah,
that's a goal. So just got to keep writing and.
Well, and it's funny because there's a band that Randy Urquhart, who was the soundman at the Ale House, every time I play there, he always arrives with a bunch of vinyl for me.
Oh, okay.
And one of the albums that he gave me was, do you remember the band Sheriff?
Yes.
So their big hit was When I'm With You.
Yes.
But that album is like nothing like that hit. But that hit was actually written in '82 and then resurfaced in like '91 and became this worldwide sensation. And when I talked to people that were associated with that, it was like they knew it was a hit and they kept pushing, and they didn't give up and they eventually got there. Mm-hmm. And do you feel like sometimes that's what it's like?
Yeah. You gotta just really keep pushing yourself out, and you feel like you're trying to beat everybody over the head with it constantly, right?
I like the term running in peanut butter because sometimes it feels like you're putting all this energy out and you look back behind you and it's like, man, I went like half a foot. But here's the thing. I think this game too, and I'm not a speech giver on this because I get frustrated like you wouldn't believe on a minutely basis. But I think the people that don't quit and somehow just keep finding a way to do it and realize that, some people are getting breaks that they don't deserve and what have you. Those are the people when they get through all that. I think something's going to happen that they're going to have some success.
Yeah. And I can see with me like every few months or every year I hit that other goal. I obtain that other thing that I'm pushing for, and I see it starting to work and starting to happen. And so
I love this. So you set goals.
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
So how often do you revisit them? Because everybody knows goals are, you don't put one down and they're a moving target all the time, right?
Every day. It changes every day, daily. Yeah, I think about it all the time. I guess it's like having a vision board. That stuff really works, right?
Well, and it's funny because I started doing a little coaching with this gentleman, and he was talking about the universe, and I'm like, stop telling me about the universe. But there is this law of attraction that and I struggle with the whole negative crap in my brain because I'll sit there and work my tail off, and it'll be like somebody just skates in and gets all the they'll get all the credit for something. I'll be like, what? Yeah. And I rage, but you got to cut through all that, and that stuff it's cool stuff, but it makes sense. Vision boards and goals and everything, right?
Yeah, just keep your nose down and work hard. Focus on the prize, on the goal, and I always just try to do things for the right reasons.
Well, and that's good for you because that's tough, right? I mean, it's like we're in a business that sometimes things aren't done for the right reasons,
that's
right? So it's all you got is your soul. You don't want to sell it, right?
Yeah.
So everybody can check on the Eastlink segment. Jolie, you can tell them where they're going to find you immediately here, like on the streaming and whatnot. But I guess one of the last things we're gonna get you as part of an all-female songwriting panel. We had talked about this before, and I had a friend go, "Oh, you're just trying to get cheap applause." I'm not, because you know what? I said it in the other show. I think women sometimes have to write 8 good songs, and men write one okay song, and the one okay song sometimes gets the nod. You know what I mean? So I like to promote women because hey man, a lot of the times you guys do better things than we do. A lot of times you write better than we do.
We really do.
Right? Well, one of my absolute favorite songwriters, besides the one working the camera, is a woman by the name of Diane Warren, and I've got to know her niece really well. And Diane's an amazing story. She came up when she'd have to punch guys to get them to hear their tunes.
I've written with 3 amazing, incredible songwriters for my project.
And 1 or 2 of them are women?
They're all women.
Ha! See? Bam. And that's important. That's important. And the only other thing I'll say is, because guys are really done with this, ladies, support each other. Guys don't do that. Support each other. Don't be a bunch of dumb men like we are with your arms crossed at the back of the bar saying, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. You know who you are. Anyway, where are they going to find you?
Everywhere. Jolene Harnish Music on Facebook, and you can find me on Instagram. TikToksic, I call it. TikTok.
The TikTok and the Twitter.
On all the streaming platforms, so iTunes, Spotify, Amazon. Have a YouTube channel. Not a whole lot going on there, but I'm working on it.
YouTube's painful, and then it becomes not painful. It's a pushing a boulder up the hill, but when you get it to the top of the hill,
it's a full-time job. Try to do all the social media.
Yeah. And I'm going to say one last weird thing here. I'm one of these guys that when somebody says everybody's doing it, I go in the opposite direction. And everybody told me in 2022 I needed to watch Top Gun Maverick, and I was like, no. And I watched it last night, and it was a good movie, so go check it out.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
So thanks a lot for tuning in, and look for Jolene and I believe Michelle Ryder, and we're going to put together some a panel of women, and it's going to be awesome. So see you next time, kids. Peace.
Bye.